Happy holidays, my fellow collectors and kaiju fans. Today I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do a figure slash kaiju discussion. But then again, when is that different from anything I ever done? So sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy the commentary entitled "The X Plus 25 centimeter King Ghidorah." A year later. What's going on, people? LP2000 right back at you with another video. And tonight, like I said in the intro, I'm gonna do a little something different. Basically what the title says. As you can see here, I got the X-Plus 25 centimeter King Ghidorah 1968 from Destroy All Monsters a year later. The reason why I'm doing this was, for one, a couple weeks ago, it was King Ghidorah's birthday, December 20th. I'm a huge King Ghidorah fan, and basically, going by what the title says, around a year ago this time, a lot of us X Plus collectors got the 25 centimeter King Ghidorah from Japan, and it was quite an ordeal, to say the least. So I'm just going to recap and just give you my impressions of how that whole situation came about, at least from my perspective. First and foremost, the X Plus King Ghidorah. Now, we already had a King Ghidorah from X Plus USA. You know, the American subsidiary company of X Plus, and they released a resin version of King Ghidorah in 1964. But for a while now, I know King Ghidorah was very sought after and requested, and really was eagerly anticipated in vinyl form from a lot of us kaiju collectors out there. It's just that one of those figures that, or the kaiju, that we just want to see X Plus bring. And for months and months and months before they announced that it was coming, that's what the figure or monster that we were looking forward to get. And come to find out, they were having the sculpt made. I guess they ran into some issues of trying to get the figure together. And but lo and behold, they did manage to get the figure together and managed to ship it out. And that's when we had the problems. And for a figure that's been so anticipated and awaited for and all that good stuff, it was just a bad time, because a lot of people got their figures mangled. They came in pieces, like with heads messed up, necks broken, horns broken, I think wings cracked or whatever. It was just a whole bunch of problems, and it was just really bad. And of course, Ami got really the brunt of the aggression from us fans, because they basically shipped the box. I don't have the box anymore because it was trashed, but basically they just shipped the box of King Ghidorah, this fragile figure. In case anybody is new out there, they shipped that figure in just the box itself. They didn't bother to put it in another box to protect it from being messed up on during the transportation process to get here from Japan. They didn't bother doing that. They just basically slapped the label on the box, the import documents in a pouch on the box, and just shipped it like that. And a lot of people got their figures mangled and basically messed up, even beyond repair. I was one of the lucky ones that actually received my box in a messed up fashion, but there was nothing wrong with King Ghidorah at all. And when I first saw it on the X-Plus Collectors Facebook group, of people were getting their King Ghidorahs, and they were showing how they were being shipped to them with just the box itself. Even I was like, come on, they wouldn't be crazy enough to do anything like that. And starting to see more reports of people in posts of pictures of how messed up the box was. I think even one guy even had his box had like blood on it or something like that. But boxes coming in with holes in it, punctures, and like I said, it's a miracle that mine came in without any problem, despite the shape the box was in when I got it. And as you know, as far as a box day, we all know what box day is. In case you're unfamiliar, box day is a term that us Kaiju collectors use, like when we order something, and on the day that it comes in and we get the box, call it box day. And it's something that us collectors are 99.9% of the time looking forward to a box day. But this is one box day I was really on the fence about wanting to get. But lo and behold, it came in with no problem. So, but a lot of folks didn't have the same fortune as I did and some other people. And you can argue that of course it was shipped by Ami shipping them in such a poor fashion that that kind of attributed to the figure being mangled or messed up. But there were reports of King Ghidorahs being shipped in separate in other boxes to protect it from damage, and they still came in mangled and messed up or whatever. So I think the blame mostly on Ami or any other retailer decided to ship it out like that. But I think the blame also was with X Plus. Maybe they should have took some more time. Maybe just package it better. Maybe put more styrofoam in it to prevent it from being messed up. But yeah, that's what happened a year ago. So and even I said, because it was so eagerly anticipated, because it was so it was something that everybody wanted. It was such a big deal. I mean, even the gigantic Burner Godzilla came out the same year as the King Ghidorah. But even as awesome that figure is, King Ghidorah, man, in my opinion, was more sought after than that, really. So to have it shipped like that and just the negative surrounding feelings surrounding it, it was just bad. It was just a mixed bag of feelings. And I even heard some reports of people trying to contact Ami to maybe be reimbursed or at least compensated for the bad shipping. And I was told, or at least I heard, that some folks didn't even get responses, or responses that they got couldn't really solve their problems. And a lot of those folks have not dealt with Ami since then, and I can understand that. But I know probably X Plus was probably ashamed about what happened too. Maybe they felt bad about it, which is why I believe that this is why we had a phenomenal year in 2015 with the great releases of the Sakai 91, Godzilla 2014, the gigantic Series G2000 Destroyer, Mothra, Gigan. I think that they saw what happened with King Ghidorah and they decided. I don't know if it had something to do with it, but I kind of think it did, because it left a bad taste in everybody's mouth with King Ghidorah. That they decided just to pull out all the stops and give us a phenomenal year, which is exactly what they did. And it all traces back to this guy, in my opinion. I mean, I think as a business, X Plus is. I know X Plus listen to the fans. They're very knowledgeable about what we want or what we want to see. And they do a good job of really releasing what we want to see. And but even still, despite all the problems, this is still a year later. It holds up really well. It's a really awesome figure. And one thing I love about this figure so much, which I would demonstrate in a couple seconds, that even though it's a 1968 King Ghidorah, you can still put it with different setups for a Showa. And maybe one Heisei film that I would demonstrate in a few minutes. But one thing I love this figure so much, despite the detail, the craftsmanship, everything that they have done to make this figure basically as awesome as it is the fact it's versatile. You don't have to put it with the Destroyer Monster setup. You can put it with Godzilla vs. Gigan or Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Of course, Ghidorah doesn't really look the same as he did in those films with this. Maybe with this one, he kind of looks like more like he was in Gigan. But he does have a different look if you want to put it with the Ghidorah three-headed monster setup. All you need is basically the 25 centimeter Godzilla 64, the Rodan 25 centimeter 1964, the little Mothra that came with the Manda Mothra set, and boom, there you go. So it's so versatile, and you can put so many setups with this figure. And even a year later, it's like one of the centerpieces of my collection, and that's why I love it so much. I'm really so blessed and thankful that I didn't really get it in such a mangled fashion, unlike many of my fellow collectors out there, which I really do feel bad for. And it's a shame that it happened like that. And but hopefully X-Plus has learned from this situation, and hopefully if they do decide to bring us another King Ghidorah incarnation, maybe they'll learn from their mistakes and ship it better, or at least put the word out on how to ship it better. I'm sure if they do get around to doing another King Ghidorah, I'm sure that they'll take better steps to ensure that what happened last year doesn't happen anymore. So without further ado, let me just show you basically some size comparisons, just show you how I display this figure. I do display it with my Destroy All Monsters lineup, but because I have so many monsters, it's kind of hard to have all those monsters all in one place. So I basically change up my King Ghidorah setup like every other 2 or 3 weeks, because like I said, it's so versatile. So let's just go with the first size comparison, and we'll go from there. All right, sit tight. Okay, folks, here goes the first size comparison. Of course, as you can see here, I got the lineup for Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, or Invasion of the Astro Monster. Of course, you got Monster 01 with Godzilla. This is actually a Billiken built-up kit I had made by my brother from another mother, Burley Vane, of Godzilla 1965. I had it painted like 1966, but it's not really much of a difference between 65 and 66. Well, there is, but I won't go into detail with that. But he does scale well with the 25 centimeter King Ghidorah. And of course, you have Monster 02 with the 25 centimeter X-Plus Rodan. Of course, this Rodan is from the 1964 film, because he didn't have really a mean look like he did in... Excuse me, he didn't have a mean look in Monster Zero as he did in the 64 film. But still, it still is a great stand-in to have a complete Monster Zero setup. Or if you have the 25 centimeter Godzilla 1966. Like I said, he does look kind of weird. He does look like the suit a little bit, the 66 I'm talking about, but he kind of looks like, in my opinion, on how Godzilla looked towards the tail end of Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, where he looked like he was on drugs. But that's why I love this Billiken kit. Hopefully X-Plus will bring us a 1965 Godzilla. So that's the first size comparison, first setup that I like to do with Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. I've actually been watching that movie a lot lately. I'm falling back in love with it again. I mean, I've always liked it, even though my greatest criticism of the film was the fact that we didn't get a lot of monster action as we did in the previous King Ghidorah film. But I'm falling in love with it again. I love the special effects, the story, the aliens, the monsters here. So yeah, so that's the first size comparison of Godzilla versus Monster Zero. All right, let's go with size comparison number 2. Okay, let's jump to the year of 1972. Of course, I'm talking about Godzilla versus Gigan. And as you can see, I got the 30 centimeter Godzilla 1968, which can pass for the 72. Of course, the King Ghidorah. I got a 30 centimeter Angus. Actually, it's my wife. Hey, boo, I love you. And this is the Gigan 30 centimeter 1972 Rit that came out earlier this year. And as you can see, they look perfectly together. And also for anybody that's new to the channel or whatever and trying to get into X-Plus, I believe Bluefin is going to be releasing King Ghidorah later on next year, I believe. I'm not really sure, but that's what I heard. Michael Chakowski from VampireRobots.com, I think, broke the news this year that Bluefin may be going to be reissuing King Ghidorah. Of course, Diamond's going to be reissuing Anguirus next month in January. I think Gigan's coming sometime next year too. I forgot which month, but I think February if I'm not mistaken. So, but yes, this is setup I like to have also with Godzilla vs. Gigan. Now, I know, far as if anybody's OCD, I know that maybe they might think that Godzilla maybe is too big to be in comparison with King Ghidorah. But if you watch the film closely, King Ghidorah was not as big as he was in his original film. He was actually kind of smaller. So I think it works. I think it does work. Maybe King Ghidorah maybe a little bit too small as far as Godzilla is concerned. But I think if you watch the film and notice how King Ghidorah is small in comparison to his original film, I think it works, and you pull it off. I mean, it can be pulled off. Excuse me. So, this is my second film that I like to have when it comes to King Ghidorah, Godzilla vs. Gigan. My second favorite Godzilla film of all time. As you can see, it looks so awesome together. All right, so let's go with my last size comparison. Then we'll finish off this video with my thoughts of my favorite Godzilla villain in the entire franchise, King Ghidorah. Sit tight. Okay, folks, thank you for hanging in there with me. Of course, this is the last size comparison. Of course, you already know what this guy is. Arguably, the 2015 best Godzilla figure of the year, the Sakai 91. I know it's debatable with the Destroyer and other things, but in my opinion, it's the best figure 2015. Of course, I have him paired up with the 25cm King Ghidorah to recreate Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah 1991. And of course, this is... Of course, King Ghidorah in that film didn't have the hair as you see on the mains. On the necks. On King Ghidorah, he had more horns, whatever. But even still, because of the Sakai 91 not being a true 30 centimeter or whatever, he does scale well with the King Ghidorah. So, let me get a little aerial shot up here. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's tight. Yeah. So if you want to pull this off and have a this Heisei setup, you can. Like I said, because the Sakai 91 is not really a true 30 centimeter, he does run on the short side a little bit. Like I said, he does scale well with the King Ghidorah. I mean, but if you're OCD, of course, it's not going to work for you because the way King Ghidorah doesn't look the same as it did in the 91 film. But the only minor differences between the two, like I said, the only really major difference is really the eyes and the fact that King Ghidorah had horns on him on the back of his neck. Maybe his wings are a little bit bigger or more sharp for as in the because King Ghidorah has bat-like wings, so maybe the wings was a little bit bigger. But overall, this is a great setup to have too of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, my favorite film in the Heisei series. So yeah, and like I said, that's why I love this 25cm King Ghidorah. You can put some of these setups with it that is just unreal and it's just amazing. So I recommend you pick it up. Or even if you don't have other monsters put with it, he's good enough on his own. So, yeah. But that's the last size comparison. So let me just finish this up with my thoughts. Like I said, of my favorite villain in the Godzilla franchise, King Ghidorah. And thank y'all for hanging in there with me so far, okay? All right, let's wrap this up. Okay, folks. Thank you so much for hanging there with me. I appreciate it. And I'm just going to go into why I love King Ghidorah so much and why he's my favorite villain in the Godzilla franchise. It's because every story that he has been in, every film he's been in, as far as Godzilla is concerned, even some of the Mothra films that he's been in, it's been very, very entertaining. My only gripe with King Ghidorah is the fact that he could never get a clean win over Godzilla. Of course, we all know that Godzilla is king of the monsters. We know that. And we respect that and all that good stuff. But I just think that it would have better served King Ghidorah to get one clean win over him, And it's ironic that I say that is because they kind of did that in the Mothra films. Of course, in the Rebirth of Mothra, in Mothra's trilogy of films in the 90s, after they killed Godzilla off and Godzilla was destroyed in 1995, they had a version of King Ghidorah, I guess it was Death Ghidorah, and I think she does kill the adult Mothra in that film. And then, like, Mothra's babies, at least one of Mothra's babies, goes away, then comes back as a more powerful form of Mothra, then vanquishes Death Ghidorah. And I think in Rebirth of Mothra 3, where you had Grand King Ghidorah, which is more like this King Ghidorah, I think King Ghidorah beats down Mothra, then Mothra goes away, and then somehow, somewhere, I mean, I haven't seen the movie in a while, but basically the premise is King Ghidorah shows up, battles Mothra, beats down Mothra, Mothra goes away and it comes back more powerful and it vanquishes King Ghidorah. I kind of wish they could have done that for Godzilla, where King Ghidorah vanquishes or at least beats down Godzilla, then Godzilla goes away and then comes back more powerful and defeats King Ghidorah. Kind of like how they did it in Godzilla's Mechagodzilla 74, sort of. But even still, because he didn't get a win over Godzilla in some way, shape, or form, I still enjoy him as a kaiju. I still enjoy every film that he's been in. And I think that far as my favorite film of King Ghidorah is the original one, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. He was just so awesome, so rabid, so chaotic driven, and every film involving King Ghidorah since then has kind of been like a step down, sort of. I kind of wish they could maintain this version of King Ghidorah in the 64 film and in every other film he's been in. I think the 91 film kind of comes close to it. And maybe Destroying Monsters does a little bit. Maybe. But there are some appearances of King Ghidorah where he's just not his normal self where he should have. And my prime example of that is Godzilla vs. Gigan. I'm sorry, just stating the obvious here or stating what I believe what would happen, but in that film, the aliens really should have won that. They really should. And case in point, you had just Godzilla and Anguirus fighting the aliens. And there's a couple of scenes in Gigan where Ghidorah just basically just stands there. For example, when Godzilla is being attacked by the Godzilla Tower, they show the shot of behind Godzilla of the tower, shooting beams down at Godzilla in the front. Then you have Gigan and Anguirus fighting each other, and way in the back, you see just King Ghidorah just standing there. He's, he got his head moving, whatever. But if they really wanted to take out Godzilla, why didn't King Ghidorah do anything then? I mean, he could have helped the Godzilla Tower kill Godzilla, or help Gigan kill Anguirus. And then later on, when Godzilla and Gigan get into it, King Ghidorah just stands right there looking at the whole thing. I mean, he could have easily turned around and probably killed Anguirus. I mean, because as tough as Anguirus is, there's no way he can match up to King Ghidorah. But that's my gripe. I think they could have utilized him better in Godzilla vs. Gigan. But even still, I enjoy and entertained by every single film that King Ghidorah has been in. I think the 91 film where you finally see Godzilla and King Ghidorah fight one-on-one, which is a really great film in my opinion. It really showcased what more King Ghidorah can do because he was kind of like I said, he was kind of like his version in 1964. He was, even though he was being controlled, the 64 version wasn't controlled. He was basically an unleashed mayhem causing, civilization planet destroying space monster, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But in 91, you have traces of it. But I think that that King Ghidorah showcased more what he can do as a fighter. When he grapples Godzilla and he flies to him, and you got one head. I think that tries to immobilize Godzilla's arm, and then you got one head that wraps around Godzilla's neck trying to choke him, which proved to be his undoing. But it just showcased more what King Ghidorah can do as a kaiju. He has all the tools to defeat Godzilla, but he never did. He has a size advantage. He has gravity beams. He could be airborne. But it just not to be. But I still look at him as well as a top kaiju. As a matter of fact, I think that this kaiju, as well as his figure, should be represented in every fan's collection. I just think that. I believe that. Like I mentioned before, that the Godzilla 54 should be represented in every fan's collection, because that's where it started from. We couldn't have got a King Ghidorah and everything that we come to know without the 54. So I feel the same way as far as like Godzilla 54, an incarnation of Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. But they were the four that started it all. In my opinion, they were the forefathers of kaiju, no pun intended. Without these four laying the groundwork and being popular and being entertaining as they was, we probably wouldn't have got a Hedra or Mechagodzilla or a Gigan, Biollante, Space Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, Monster X. I'm sorry. That's funny. We couldn't have got all that without the forefathers of kaiju and Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. But that's one of the reasons why I love King Ghidorah so much. Like I said, it's all about entertainment value. He's just an entertaining kaiju. Every film he's been in, even some films where I didn't really like it at first, like GMK. The GMK King Ghidorah had to grow me a little bit. because they tweaked the origin as they did in Godzilla King Ghidorah 1991. I'm sorry, I just have a hard time believing that those three little cute Dorats merged into King Ghidorah. I mean, I still am a fan of the Showa space origin of King Ghidorah, you know. So those three little Dorats and the origin in GMK was kind of tough to digest, but they were both still entertaining films. It didn't detract from the entertaining value at all from the films, in my opinion. And then, of course, you had, like I said, in Rebirth of Mothra, you had a version of King Ghidorah, which is Death Ghidorah. Then you have Grand King Ghidorah in Rebirth of Mothra 3. Then you have a version of King Ghidorah and Kaiser Ghidorah from Final Wars. Even when King Ghidorah fought Zone Fighter in, I think, in like 2 episodes. He is just an entertaining kaiju on so many levels, and I love him so much, and that is why he is my favorite Godzilla villain of all time. And I mean, you know, and of course, with Godzilla being a great hero, or I mean, everything he has, you know, you got to have something. He has to have a nemesis, and of course, when you see these two together, it's really, really awesome. And if you would ask anybody or any Godzilla fan who is Godzilla's #1 nemesis, I'm pretty sure 90% of the people would say King Ghidorah, or maybe Mechagodzilla, but I'm sure King Ghidorah would be at the top of the list. As far as this figure of X-Plus, it's really, really amazing. If they do reissue it at some point down the line, I hope that you just do the research and try and get it. Hopefully, if they do reissue it, hopefully they'll learn from the mistakes from the first one. And I hope that X-Plus, because of this being a bad, I guess the bad circumstances surrounding its first release, I just hope that it doesn't make them afraid to do another King Ghidorah incarnation. I mean, personally, I would like to see a King Ghidorah from 1991 to go with the Sakai 91. Or a Mecha King Ghidorah. Or a GMK Ghidorah to go with the GMK X-Plus figures. Or just, how about the original King Ghidorah from 1964? I know the X-Plus USA did it, but I know that if X-Plus did it, you know, and have it look exactly how he was in the original film, that would really be awesome. But I hope that X-Plus does get around to make another incarnation of King Ghidorah. With Destroyer being a complicated monster to make, and they pulled it off with flying colors recently, I think that we could see another King Ghidorah at some point. I hope that we do, because King Ghidorah is such an important part of the Godzilla franchise, even Mothra to a certain extent. He's such an important piece of the franchise that it's not going to hurt to have more King Ghidorah incarnations, and I hope that we do see some down the line. They got plenty to choose from. Trust me. I would even love a King Ghidorah from Godzilla vs. Gigan, to be honest with you. But maybe because I'm biased, because he's my favorite kaiju. But still, to make the collections or to make the roster even more diverse, I mean, I'm sure, I will hope that they will choose another King Ghidorah incarnation in the near future or in the future period. So basically, that's the end of my kaiju discussion. I mean, like I said, it was on my mind because of King Ghidorah's birthday, December 20th or whatever, and the fact that around this time, a lot of us were getting our King Ghidorahs from Japan, and it was just an interesting time. It wasn't exactly the most positive time, but it was interesting, so I just wanted to talk about it before the year ends. And once again, I want to thank y'all for supporting me. Thank y'all for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for looking at my videos. Thank you for all that you do, because without y'all, and it was a cliche, without y'all, I wouldn't be here doing what I love to do, which is talk about this and why we are here in the first place. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate the love and support. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think I might go ahead and watch Godzilla King Ghidorah or Gigan or Ghidorah Three-Headed Monster, whatever. I mean, there's one thing about me doing these videos. Whenever I'm doing the videos and I'm sitting here talking and I'm glancing back and forth between the camera and the figures, I actually want to watch the movie afterwards. I don't know. You would think I would have, because the El Rey Network recently had show Godzilla films for like 3 days straight. You'd think I would be in Godzilla film withdrawal, but that's what X-Plus does. It makes you want to look at the films. Makes you more passionate. It makes you more of a fan. And if that's not the best thing in the world for being a kaiju fan, I don't know what is. But yeah, but check out the Facebook groups about to mention: Toho Nation, Toho Kaiju Union, Toy Explosion, Japanese Toy and Figure Services, the Godzilla Collectors Facebook group, and of course, the X-Plus Collectors Facebook group. And check out KaijuAddicts.com for all things X-Plus. Once again, that's KaijuAddicts.com. And thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for watching. Thank you all for your support. And I will see y'all again in the next figure and move review. And y'all have a happy new year. All right? Y'all take it easy.